Hello everyone, welcome back to Skincare and Beauty with PerkiPerkins. So today I am finally back and I'm so excited. I'm going to be sharing with you all some new releases that I've been loving and enjoying for the past month. So with that in mind, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the new Patricktabeauty launch, which is their foundation and powder. New Patricktabeauty blush that I recently received, along with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer. Now let's get started with my complexion. Loving the Tula Skin Filter Primer because it's really nice. It gives nice hydrating primer that gives you a subtle glow. And it's also blurring. Now for the Patricktabeauty Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. Most of the products he creates always have a cream and then a powder, which is amazing. This one is no exception. And what's also love the fact that it has a protective cover. It's a beautiful creamy formula, which is considered like a medium coverage. Now, normally I never like sticking my finger inside cream products, but for some reason, if I warm it up, it just blends out so much more smoother. Look at that. I apply the cream foundation very strategically to the point where it's over the dark spots that I have throughout my face, and from there I actually blend out.
Using my Beauty 101 contour foundation brush, I'm patting inside out and it buffs and blends so effortlessly. It's beautiful, blended and smooth, and it gives me a light medium coverage, which I really do love and enjoy. It's so quick even when I'm on the run. Even though you can still see very faintly some dark spots, I'm perfectly fine with it because typically I would have applied my color corrector first before the foundation. I just wanted to show you how it looked. Now, just to make sure I get all the areas where I have the most creases, I do take the sponge and just pat the areas. Taking the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I've been testing it out for about a month now, and I really do enjoy the formula. It actually doesn't pick up a lot of product, but just enough so you aren't overdoing it. And I like how the little sponge tip actually brings in a little bit of the product, so I can apply it exactly where I need it, where I want to do a little bit of brightening and basically concealing. Now, I typically get concealers which are just slightly lighter than my foundation because I don't like an extreme highlighted look. I want to do a more natural day to day. To blend out the concealer, I'm using the Beauty A506 brush. It is a gorgeous concealer brush as I'm able to get into all the nooks and crannies, and it keeps the product exactly where I need it, and any little excess that I have, I'm basically going to take it onto the lid just to help kind of cover up and conceal the discoloration on my eyelids. And you can just see how it actually covered up very well with a light coverage of the concealer. Now, to set my under eyes, I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra Matte HD setting powder and using the little triangle sponges. Man, have these sponges become a game changer. I bought a pack from Amazon and I love it because it really sets everything nicely, feels lightweight and slightly mattifying, but you can see the slight radiance still in my skin. Now I'm going to repeat the process and do my left side. As I mentioned, I personally like a lightweight, more natural looking makeup for my day to day. Sometimes I could skip some steps, but for the most part, I always want to make sure I have a nice long wearing foundation and concealer that doesn't really crease on me, which this new duo has been amazing and a game changer for me. While the setting powder has been a staple in my routine for at least the last 4 to 5 months. Now, I did want to show how I apply and tap out the excess powder because I don't want to have it so heavy, and I took it to set basically my T-zone. I'm taking my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand in the fair medium, and I'm actually strategically applying it across the areas I want to create that natural shadow. This liquid contour is incredible. It's what I consider dummy proof because it's really hard to kind of go overboard, and it's just buffs and blends so effortlessly. If you're able to get your hands on it, I highly recommend you guys trying it out. I've actually had this contour wand for well over a year, and I was using it sparingly, but now I'm like, you know what, I need to use it up because it's going to expire soon enough. You were easily able to see how it really just sculpted my face with one light layer. Now I'm going to take the Patricktabeauty Cream and Powder Blush in shade She's Blushing, and using an Alamar brush because it just makes it easy to kind of like tap it on to the strategic areas. You were also able to see how I actually tap off and make sure that the product is blended between the bristles. This makes it so that it's easier to blend, but I highly recommend you guys checking out the Patricktabeauty products. Like, his line is impeccable. To this day, I haven't found a product I haven't enjoyed. And also, I know I'm adding this kind of late, but Sephora is starting their VIB sale. Perfect time to stock up on some of your favorites or products you've been really looking at. As always, now for my brows, my go-to Benefit Cosmetics Precisely My Brow. Now, right now, doing my left brow, I'm doing it my traditional way where I'm just filling in the bottom and then the tail, and then I'm going to be blending it through. I'll also be using the Benefit Cosmetics Boing Bright On Concealer, as I really do love and enjoy the formula, and it's not too heavy, so it's perfect for around the eye area, and I do use it for brightening from time to time. I almost forgot to mention, to clean up my brows, I'm using the BK Beauty X Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush, so this way it can actually clean up the brows because it's very nice, very detailed, and it's kind of firm but not being too harsh on the skin. And to lock in my brows, I love using the Benefit Cosmetics 24-hour brow setter. It really just locks it in and it gives me that nice fluffy brow effect. Switching over to my other brow, I'm going to be using the Benefit Gimme Brow Plus Volumizing Pencil. It's actually just recently launched a few months ago, and I've actually really been enjoying it because it does really truly fill in my brows very, very nicely. Though you do want to warm up the product a little bit because I've noticed for me it could be a little dry, but then I've had it for over a month. Now I'm doing it my traditional way, filling in, shaping everything as normal, but for the front of my brows, I had a little snafu a few days prior to filming this where I was dermaplaning, and I accidentally took off and nicked the front of my brows. So I did have to go back with my Precisely My Brow to fill in the front area because it's fairly sparse in there. It's kind of crooked. I know, so bad. Either brow pencil option will work perfectly for you. Again, the pencil, the Precisely My Brow, that one gives you a little bit more bolder look in my opinion, but the Gimme Brow Plus, that one actually gives a little bit more softer look. To seal and intensify my blush area, I took the powdered version from the Patricktabeauty Duo, and I just strategically applied it to the upper portions of my cheekbones. I absolutely love the Patricktabeauty formulas. Now, I would like to remind you guys, as this video is going live when the Sephora VIB sales event is happening, don't forget to make sure you use the savings code to save either 20, 15, or 10% off. And if you guys use my link, it is affiliated, and I'll greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow me for more tips and tricks.